Today, I want to provide the latest numbers and remind us all about the importance of staying safe this holiday weekend. I am pleased to report that there have been no new deaths in the last 24 hours. Almost 12,800 Albertans have now recovered from the virus. However, we identified 164 new cases of COVID-19 yesterday, and the provincial lab completed 10,709 more tests. Currently, there are 1,433 active cases in Alberta. 47 people are in the hospital, including 9 in intensive care. We are heading into the last long weekend of summer, and I know many people are excited to enjoy it. However, the number of cases being reported today is a clear reminder that we cannot afford to be reckless. COVID-19 does not take holidays, and we have seen weekend barbecues and other gatherings spark outbreaks in the past. I want to encourage all Albertans to have fun while making safety a priority this weekend. Relax, enjoy yourself, but remain vigilant. There are many ways to have fun while still doing it safely. For example, I know our province has many beautiful places to visit on a hopefully warm and inviting Labor Day weekend. If you do visit new places, make sure you're aware of any additional restrictions, such as mandatory mask bylaws, that may be in effect where you're going. Most places we go, we will share with others, so bring a mask and hand sanitizer and plan backup activities if you find yourself in a crowded or unsafe place. Gas pumps, store doors, and shop shelves are high contact areas. If you stop, sanitize your hands before and after pumping gas, shopping, and paying for and taking food at a drive-thru. Wear a mask in indoor spaces where you might not be able to maintain distance at all times. After using a public bathroom, wash your hands for at least 20 seconds and sanitize again after touching the door on your way out. In most cases, being outdoors makes it easier to maintain physical distancing. For those who are camping this weekend, remember that campground operators have COVID-19 protection measures in place, so please follow each campground's guidelines. Alberta Parks is encouraging visitors to bring a mask and wear it when around people who are outside your household, and to bring hand sanitizer. Accommodation providers in communities across the province are ready to welcome us with cleaned and sanitized rooms. Still, be aware of your surroundings and wear a mask if you're in common areas where you can't keep distant from others. Currently, close contacts are the largest source of exposure of active cases, ahead of both outbreaks and unknown exposures. It's important to be cautious even when we're with those we love. If you're attending a barbecue or other social gathering this weekend, keep it as small as possible and stay within your own cohort. Protect loved ones by encouraging everyone to bring their own food and drinks and use their own utensils. Also, please don't pass around snacks, drinks, smokes, tokes, or vapes. This isn't being rude, it's being considerate of others. Now is not the time for sharing anything that has been in your mouth. We know that the risk of transmission is lower when outdoors, so stay outside as much as possible and try to keep your distance from others. Lastly, if you're feeling even a little sick this weekend, stay home. I know it's disappointing, but don't risk passing the virus on to friends and loved ones. It has been a long pandemic, and I know how energizing it can be to go camping, check out a restaurant, have a barbecue, and spend time with loved ones. Just be wise, be safe, and let's all look out for each other. One of the key issues I've spoken about in the last couple of weeks is that we have seen timelines that unfortunately are longer than we would like them to be. We are working very closely with the lab, and people at the lab are working incredibly hard, and I just want to take a moment to acknowledge those who are working on the front line in our labs, moving through tens of thousands of samples every day. But unfortunately, we have had a bit of a backlog in the last couple of weeks, and so it is taking longer than would be ideal. We are working very hard to get that turnaround time shortened as quickly as possible, and we recognize the challenges it poses as people are waiting for a test. So please know that we're aware of this issue. We're working very hard to make it shorter, and in the meantime, we ask that anyone who does have symptoms, that they please stay home and away from others while they're waiting for the result of their test. We are looking at the evidence around different levels of distancing, and that is something that we will be discussing at a special advisory committee call. Those are the committee calls where my counterparts, the other chief medical officers of health across the country, where we come together and discuss the evidence and policy implications. So we are discussing that. What we know is that 1 meter does offer protection over no distancing, and that increasing the distance adds layers of protection. We also know that depending on the circumstances, depending on the length of time someone is in the same space, depending on airflow, depending on how sick a person is, if they're coughing and sneezing, even 2 meters in some instances may not be sufficient. So we have to pick the number that we think serves the best purpose for the most people. And we are looking at that, but again, right now, what I would recommend is that people do continue to observe the 2 meters wherever possible. Where that's not possible, to wear a mask. And with respect to students in classrooms, again, we have allowed that break while they're seated and able to maintain as much distancing as possible for the specific purpose of supporting their learning and educational experience.